I mean, I think the government needs to start with a full engagement with everybody in every political party about ensuring that this problem is addressed. It cannot be a political ball that gets kicked around at all. So I think there's been a step in the right direction by Andy Burnham by encouraging a cross-party talk, but he does need to make sure that every party is involved in that discussion. I think that you hit the nail on the head, Miriam, when you said that part of the challenge here is that people assume that social care is free at the point of use because they get very used to the fact that the NHS is free at the point of use. And the reality is that the social care system is not and has never been free at the point of use. It's paid for by a complex kind of cross group of organisations. It's either paid for by a local authority, it's paid for by the NHS, or it's paid for by private individuals. And in many instances, it's also paid for by subsidies that come from private payers who are overpaying for their care, or by family carers who are not getting paid at all. So I think in order to really fix this, there needs to be an open discussion about where that baseline actually sits in order to ensure that it's funded correctly. And Andy Burnham's made a very good point about devoting, I think he said he'd devote the full extent of his political capital to this. He actually also needs to devote some financial capital to this. But I don't think necessarily it needs to be new money. I mean, I think, we've got a case in South Yorkshire, a gentleman that we're supporting, where the support that we are providing to him is saving the NHS £100,000 a year. Now, I've said to the commissioners in that area, if they want to send me 10 cases, I'll very happily save the NHS £1 million a year. It's possible for this to be done, but we need to be thinking about that money differently, and not new money, but the redeployment of other money is probably the right way to be thinking about it.
And Dan, we've been hearing about some 13,600 people stuck in hospital beds who don't need to be there. They're medically fit to leave, but there isn't that space for care after them. Do you get the sense that there could be a case where some of this investment essentially pays for itself by virtue of the healthcare costs and the bed blocking being relieved?
Absolutely the case. And whether it's 13,000 or 16,000 people in a hospital corridor waiting to go home, the reality of this is that in many areas the process of re-enablement of paying for social care when they go home after a hospital stay is automatically funded. And what happens then is that after a 6-week period of it being automatically funded, many individuals then don't qualify for ongoing funding, so they end up having to pay privately for that. Well, it would make far more sense for me in that situation for people to be paying for that from the very beginning, and to be saving that NHS money to be used elsewhere within the NHS. So, the fact, though, that they stay in a hospital bed, I mean, hospital beds are a horribly expensive place for people to be staying, but what we see here is that there is a different budget used because it's a different funding stream for an NHS hospital bed compared to social care within the community. And that, again, is part of the challenge we've got. I think very often when you talk to families in this area, they will talk about the complexity of navigating the system. Well, the fact that any navigation at all is required is part of the problem. There shouldn't be navigation. It should be pretty straightforward, this stuff.